It's your girl Marsha J from Weekends with Marsha J and Jesse right here on UMERADIO Saturdays at 8 a.m. This week in the streets, we're going to be talking about emotional cheating versus physical cheating. What are the misconceptions? Let's lean in.
Man, them afraid for respond, Marsha. Oh God.
Hey, everybody. How we doing tonight? Hello, everyone.
Let's
Hi.
talk
Relationships
on
on You Me
Radio.
Radio.
So, what are we talking about?
Marriage, dating, parenting, business.
And love, emotions, sex.
It's a conversation with me, Lady Misty,
And DJ KTE.
on everything from hot topics to taboos.
Join us Mondays at 9 p.m. live on UME Radio.
Follow us at Let's Talk Radio Show on Facebook or on Yumi Radio on Instagram. Let's talk relationships, arguments for the grown.
Get the UME Radio app to listen wherever you are. That is UME Radio.
Hey, everybody. Hey, how we are doing out here? I'm so excited to be here tonight to have an amazing show. My name is DJ KTE.
And I am Lady Misty.
Lady Misty in the house tonight. Oh, we're going to
Yes,
rock it, aren't
sir.
we? We're going to rock tonight. We're going to rock it tonight. That's what we're going to do.
Yes, sir, we are.
Yes. So, folks, we are getting ready for a great episode tonight. And tonight's show, there is an intent of this show tonight, and that is to actually expose misconceptions of emotional cheating. So we're going to explore that, and we have some amazing guests here tonight that's lined up. Some no strangers to us, and they're going to be sharing as well. And we're going to have a good time. We have Tiffany Roberts from Florida. She's here tonight. We have Reverend Wanda Thomas. She's from out of New Jersey. We have Barry Hibbert from out of New York. And we have Dr. McGee from Oregon. So we have a nice mixture of locations here. And I'm sure personalities and maybe different opinions. But we're going to rock tonight. It's going to be a great show.
Yes.
So
We
like I
have
always say,
a
Lady
lovely
Misty,
mixture.
I always say, how was your week? How was your day? Always ask the question. So how was
It was okay. It was okay. It was
it?
okay.
Busy, crazy, rainy, sunny?
Yeah, well, it has been raining over the past weekend. Today, not so much. A little overcast, but all in
Okay.
all, it has been an okay day.
Very good. Good to hear. All right.
Yes. So we want to say thank you to our sponsors for tonight. We want to say a special thank you to umedigital.inc.com, Mindfulness in Ministry Masterclass, mycoachministry.com. Please check out the courses on Udemy, accessbusinessstreet.com, an empowerment tool to help faith-based leaders build a business around their ministry. Success Plan, establish, develop, register, and own your brand. Please connect at umedigital.inc.com/EDRP. We want to welcome all those who are out there in the virtual space who, as usual, as I always say, you are keeping our company tonight. So we
Yes,
want
they
to say
are.
welcome to
Mm-hmm.
all those in YouTube land, those who may be joining us in the Zoom room, in the live studio audience, those who are on Yumi Radio, those who are listening on our app, on the App Store, Google Play Store, iTunes, Podcast, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, Google Podcast, Podbean, TuneU, Live 365, Spotify, Spotify, and Stitcher, or any other platform. We are on all of them. So we want to welcome you tonight. It's going to be a great night. It's going to be a loaded night, and
Uh-huh.
I trust that you'll be here for us right through to keep our company tonight. So to kick things off tonight, we are going into deal breakers or makers. Now, this
Uh-oh.
is where we explore ideals that both affect genders in relationship, and we ask ourselves, is this a deal breaker or
A
a deal
deal
maker?
maker. Okay.
Yes. So we're going to be joined now by Marsha J from Weekends with Marsha J and Jesse, and that's aired every Saturday morning, bright and early at 8 a.m. in the streets with the question, what are some of the misconceptions of emotional versus physical cheating? Hmm, let's lean in.
Hmm.
Hey fam, it's your girl Marsha J from Weekends with Marsha J and Jesse right here on Yumi Radio Saturdays at 8 a.m. This week in the streets, we're going to be talking about emotional cheating versus physical cheating. What are the misconceptions? Let's lean in.
I think one of the misconceptions is with emotional cheating, people may not think of it as doing any harm, and they may realize that it's just to fulfill emotionally what their other partner is lacking in. But it is doing harm because you're mentally losing yourself, that connection with that person. And if you start to build that connection emotionally with someone else, eventually that can turn into a physical attraction and may lead you to physically cheating.
Man, them afraid for respond, Masha. Oh God.
Right, so I think major misconceptions with the emotional cheating is that it won't get physical after a time, which is a misconception. Another one, there are no strings attached when you emotionally cheat. But of course, that's not the case because we always get attached, or persons always get attached. For the physical cheating, it can be done to get rid of present issues one is facing. So you basically physically cheat because you think that will basically get rid of the issues that you're facing currently. And another one, no emotional attachment will come from physically cheating, which of course is a misconception.
Yes, pleasant good evening. For me, I don't feel there should be a misconception on the topic of cheating with whether physical or emotional, because there's a difference. Because emotional cheating is where you get involved with somebody, or it involves you talking to somebody that is involved with somebody else. Yeah. Whereas physical cheating is you actually getting intimately involved with someone, whereas it involves kissing and touching and such like that. So it wouldn't not necessarily be the same.
Hey bro, yeah man, bottom line, cheating is cheating. Whether I want to be emotional or physical, cheating is cheating, because you need to communicate with your spouse and talk about where your relationship is or at, or where it should be. And if both of you can come to a mutual agreement, then just let it go. Like Frozen, let it go.
All right. In both situations, it is would seen as a sense of misconduct. Emotional cheating, I think, is a lot worse. A lot worse in the sense that it brings a lot more connection to that person than that would be able to basically separate you emotionally from your main spouse. Those situations can be very dangerous because then the other person might feel like they have more say than your actual spouse. So I feel that emotional cheating for me would be worse than the physical cheating. Not saying that both of them are in any way case okay, but if you were to categorize the significance of both acts, I would say emotional cheating would be a lot more worse. Misconceptions would be that because in emotional cheating you might not have a physical or a sexual relationship with the person, you could have a strong emotional connect where that person would you would basically do anything for that person. Now with that, now it can have a lot more emotional wedge that can drive between you and your actual spouse. Whereas physical, on a man's perspective, a man can physically cheat, but they're not emotionally attached. So some persons might say that emotional cheating because they're not physically doing anything, even though some case it can involve that. They feel like because I'm not physically cheating, nothing is wrong if they are close to somebody because they are just friends. But in essence, it actually is a lot more dangerous than it would for the other part, for the other aspect, which doesn't have an emotional attachment. So I would say misconception on that would be that persons believe that because they might not be a physical intimacy, they feel like it's okay to be emotionally connected with a person, especially on the level where the partner is not aware of it. So I would say emotional for me would be worse, definitely worse. But nonetheless, both aspects would be a deterrent factor in a relationship issue.
Okay, so misconceptions of emotional cheating as physical cheating. Okay, so misconceptions of emotional cheating as physical cheating. One misconception I would say is that some people believe they have done nothing wrong because there's nothing physical, it's just emotional. Another misconception is some persons also see it as being nothing wrong in that they're simply just venting anger, or they can't talk to their partner, so they turn emotionally to someone else, so they don't see anything wrong with it. And again, we come back to they didn't physically do anything, so they don't see anything wrong. I think those are the only two that I know.
Okay, I would say that cheating is really a broad topic, and I think sometimes we think that cheating is just the physical part where the both persons are together with each other. But it really starts from in the mind, because sometimes a person can actually be cheating without doing the physical thing, and the other party totally unaware that this person lost after them in the mind. And they're lusting after the person, but they must say, the situation in the mind and they're not doing nothing with the person, or they're not put no talk to the person, then they're not really cheat.
So you're saying that to cheat, it doesn't need two persons, just need one person to start.
Because the fact let's say that I am married, and then I start to lust after somebody else, another man. That's a cheating, you know, because the Bible itself, when Jesus said that, then you say from the thought coming in your mind, you commit the sin. Because that's where sin is conceived from, your thoughts. That's why the Bible says a man thinketh in his heart so easily. Because the person that built the bench, he had a thought. I think the emotional one, eventually, if it is going to lead to the physical, to the way you say the physical is the sex, it all lead to that.
Misconceptions with emotional cheating versus physical cheating. I think one of the biggest misconceptions is that emotional cheating doesn't count, but it does, because emotions speak to your heart and your heart and your mind, or your emotions, how you're feeling about the person. So if you're exhibiting these feelings towards somebody else, you're robbing your partner of that part of you. I think that hurts more than physical cheating, because physical cheating may just be a one time, oh, I have an urge and try to feed the need, and that usually comes with a sense of guilt soon after. But emotional cheating is a choice. It's something that you have thought about, something you have decided to do, and you have moved whatever feelings you have towards one person and placed it in another. So you basically check out of the relationship then.
Wow, that was a
All
lot there, huh,
right.
Misty? That was a lot
Yeah,
there.
interesting views, DJ KTE. I remember when we were talking about this when we were having our discussions for tonight's show.
Yeah.
It was such an interesting and deep conversation
Hmm.
because it's something that you don't really discuss very often, and especially where emotional cheating is concerned, uh, not not a lot of light is shed on it because most times there there is a let's see there's a leaning towards talking about just physical cheating.
That's true. That's true.
So yes, so most times there's not much uh conversation around
The emotional, huh?
emotional cheating.
Hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, it
But
was a
which one do
very,
you think is worse?
wow. I'm gonna save my answer for last because I'm gonna let the panel speak here. I'm gonna let these guests.
You're
But
gonna
one thing I
save your
did though,
answer for
guys, one
last.
thing I did. See, I knew anything about relationships and love and sex. You got to get something cool. So I brought my wine glass with some nice cool stuff in there. I won't say what it is, but it's gonna get real crazy tonight. So when it gets crazy, I'm gonna make a little sip and get myself back in shape. All right. So basically,
I hear you, DJ.
we're gonna let the guests do their thing when they come on and
All right.
chime in at some point.
Yes. All right. So
Yes.
let me just read something here just to provide us with some context and some base as we get into the discussion. So cheating is a particular type of secretive, sustained closeness with someone who isn't your primary partner. It's one person making an unilateral decision to cultivate non sexual intimacy with someone other than their primary romantic partner in a
Mm.
way that weakens or undermines the relationship.
Wow.
Now, it continues to say not only is it incredibly heartbreaking for the person who is being cheated on, but it can also affect the person's trust with that betrayal, leading to other issues down the line, such as not being able to accept it when staying in the same relationship or being unable to trust future partners. There are two forms of cheating: emotional and physical. Meaning, while some people feel heartbroken over a physical act, such as sex, others may feel more betrayed by their partner confiding in someone else, leading to actual feelings
Mhm.
for someone else and mimicking the closeness and intimacy of a romantic relationship, even if nothing physical is ever involved.
Wow. Hmm.
Yes. So tonight we're talking about, for those who are just joining us, welcome, welcome, welcome to Let's Talk Relationship. And we are talking about tonight emotional cheating versus physical cheating. And I want to bring on the guests tonight. So we want to bring them to the LTR table.
Yes, we're
So
gonna drill them all
tonight,
tonight. We're gonna drill them hard
yes,
tonight. Better be ready.
yes, so tonight
Hmm.
we have Dr. Ramesia McGee, and she's
Yes.
out of Oregon. She's a
Hmm.
professor of English and literature at Lynn Benton Community College. We have next Mr. Barry Hibbert, and he is out of New York City, NYC, in the building, and he is a physical therapist and owner of Liquid Blends. I feel like
Wow.
I should have needed some of that to drink
Yes, we should
tonight.
try some. Yeah,
Yes.
we should definitely have some tonight. That
All
liquid
right,
blends.
coming up next, we have Lady Dr. Wanda Thomas, and she's an ordained minister and certified counselor, and she is coming to us out of New Jersey.
Yes, New Jersey.
Yes, and we also have Lady Tiffany Roberts. She is owner and founder of T. Roberts Enterprises, and she is coming to us out of Florida.
All right.
Right. So, good night, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Let's Talk Relationships. How are we all doing? I hope you all can hear me well.
All right. All right. All right. All right. Here we go. Here we go. All right.
Yes. It promises to be
There
a
we go.
interesting night tonight.
It's going to be a great one tonight.
Yes, good night
Where's
once
Mr.
more
Hibbert?
to all our guests tonight.
There we go. So, can I begin?
Yes, you may.
So, again, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I think that this topic came about kind of sporadically out of a conversation we were having with the team, and of course, for years we've heard about the cheating and the babies and the baby daddy drama and stuff like that, the physical stuff. But I think the emotional part, like Lady Misty was saying, we don't speak much about that part of it. Now, I must raise my hand because I'm guilty of emotional cheating. My mom said, "Son, don't go in the cookie jar. Leave the cookies alone." And I got so emotional about my cookies, I had to go and get them. But in all seriousness, yeah, I think I'm guilty of emotional cheating. And it's funny because when I did emotional cheat, I didn't know I was doing it. This is like way, 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 way back. And I'm not that old, guys. I'm not that old. It was way, 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 way back. I didn't know better. But I've learned over the years that it is very dangerous. And we're going to talk about it tonight. So I'm going to ask our first guest, and Dr. Wanda, if you don't mind, give us a little perspective on yourself and how you've been dealing with COVID and how you're going to address this topic tonight.
Well, the good thing about it is we can do everything from home, which I'm really enjoying.
Me too.
Yeah, we can do everything from home. And look at this, I'm speaking to you all, and you over in Jamaica, right?
Yes, I
Jamaica,
am.
New York, all over.
New York. So this is absolutely awesome. So I'm enjoying and I'm getting along just well.
Awesome.
All right. Very good. Very good. So, Dr. Wanda, since you are here, is emotional cheating worse than physical cheating? That's the universal question. So let me start with that one.
Okay. Well, for me, it's really a catch-22. But like the DJ KTE said, his hand in a cookie jar. You physically do it, you're cheating. You emotionally do it, you're cheating, as the Bible puts it, regardless.
Yes.
So it's really a catch-22. The sad part is when you are physically caught doing it, it does damage the relationship even that much more, because no one really knows what you're thinking and it's all in your action. So it all depends on that person, that individual. Let me use an example. There's a young man at my job, right? And he stays in the females' faces and they stay in his face, and he's married. And I just be shaking my head saying, "Oh, poor Mrs." Because he and I had a conversation before.
Yes.
And I remember he saying that his wife had a old boyfriend, got his number, ran into him in the street and got his number. And he said, absolutely not. She can't have his number. She can't speak to him. She can't do absolutely nothing. And I said, and here you are with every little bird in a nest. They're in your face, you're in their face, and it's crazy. And it's actually sad, because obviously his needs are not being met. And if they are, you're just being greedy. So now what is that saying? You're in every bird face that's at your job, and then you go home.
Now we know about physical cheating and how that comes about. It's a physical interaction with somebody, and it's usually based off an urge. I was listening to most of the comments that were said in the Vox Pop a while ago, and I think one of the respondents were saying, physical cheating may just appear out of an urge, but emotional cheating is from a choice. Can it be that you can be emotionally cheating and don't know?
It's possible. Again, it goes back to your need not being met.
Okay.
And if your need is not being met at home, for instance, your love language for your partner, you may need communication. You may need a touch on your shoulder, or just, touch them. Every little thing, intimacy, it counts. And if you're not getting any of those things, but just being nagged, you didn't take the garbage out, you didn't pay the bills, you didn't take the dog out, you didn't. Men and women, what we have to understand, we are definitely wired differently. So they are not our girlfriend. So don't expect them to act like that. They're not our girl.
Yes.
They're our man, and we are their woman. So it's all about need being met, and it's all about intimacy, and it's all about affirming one another, being kind, saying kind things, inspiring each other, not tearing each other down and destroying the spirit. And men, when it comes to women, we're a little more stronger. Don't beat me up, men. We're a little more strong in that area. That's why you guys are the Bronx, and we are the emotion. We look for that bond, that connection. We want to talk. We speak 40,000 words, and the man speak only made his point. So we're looking for that woman. For her, she's just looking for that connection.
Yes.
And that man, he may come home and just give that hug, and he's ready to start off his plateau, and she just wanted the hello. So we're just wired differently.
I understand.
Thank you for that.
Yes. Dr. McGee, good night.
Good night.
Yes, I know. When it comes on to emotions, the first thing that pops out in many people's mind is woman. So, do you think women lean more to emotional cheating than men?
Oh, for sure. There's a thing called that men cheat for ego and women cheat for emo. So
I like that. Say that again, please.
men cheat for ego, women cheat for emo.
All right.
Wanting that connection emotionally. Yeah, I think so. And I think that it happens accidentally. You could start off as coworkers, and next thing you know, you eat lunch together all the time, talking about what's going on in the office, you're laughing, you're giggling, you're spending all this extra time. I hear people say, "Oh, I got a work husband," or "I got a work wife." People.
Absolutely.
And some people are okay with that, and some folks are not. But it's just kind of you fall into it, and it doesn't mean that you don't love and care for your spouse. It just means maybe you're connecting with this person on a different level.
Absolutely.
But I think you have to really go into it, or if you feel yourself drifting into something that's not platonic, then you have to be honest with yourself, and you need to be honest with your partner, with your mate. There are so many things. I think that even sometimes when women are just having a good conversation and can be coming home and bringing it to their husband, like, "Man, I talked to Jason today and he had me cracking up." The husband or the mate is listening to that. He has you cracking up about what? Or he may come back later. Sometimes it takes people longer to process things. Sometimes men longer to process things than it does women. And so she can be thinking it's very innocent. And then the man, the coworker, could be thinking that she really likes him in a different way. Because she's just being nice and polite. I've had a situation where I'm a free spirit.
Is it me?
think she's frozen.
Frozen. Okay. I thought it was always check for me.
Dr. McGee?
She's
Oh.
back.
Are you
She's
there?
back. Go right
Oh,
ahead.
she's back? Okay.
And,
I think your mic is off.
can you hear me? Sorry about
Now we
that.
can. Go ahead, Dr. McGee.
Yes, we
I
can
think
now.
that-
Go ahead.
I think that sometimes, you know, I am a free spirit. I'm very polite. Although I live in Oregon, I'm from Chicago. I'm from the inner city. I was raised a certain way. And sometimes people can take that lightheartedness and that politeness as flirting, and it's not that at all. You know, and then they could begin to create something in their mind about you or about what you're doing or what you're saying. And you are completely oblivious to it because you're just being who you are.
Yes, that's
You're
true.
just being polite. And some men take that as, oh, she's hitting on me, or oh, she's flirting with me, or oh, she likes me like that. And it's not that at all, you know. So
True.
sometimes people create emotional relationships in their own mind, and it has nothing to do with the other person. And I
True.
think we can't leave that out of the conversation because that happens all the time. But I don't think women need to be naive either, right? Like you kind of know what you're doing if you constantly grinning and smiling and doing all what Dr. Wanda said. You in the face, you're grinning, and come on now, that you have to have some type of meter, right, to know better. You have to conduct yourself as a wife or as a spouse or as a person in a monogamous relationship. Now, if you are not in a monogamous relationship and it's open season, then hey, do you. But I do think that men cheat for that ego part. They cheat to boost their ego. They could be getting everything else when at home, but they want that ego piece. Women cheat for emotional. We are missing something. Something's lacking. Something we're not getting. And that's why it's very important to communicate with your partner. And like Dr. Wanda said, it's important to know each other's love language and how you rock. And never stop dating each other. A lot of times couples stop dating. Like, no, the same stuff you do to get me is the same stuff you gotta do to keep me.
Uh-oh, watch it now. So
The
listen.
same
So
stuff
I'm
you do to get me is the same stuff you gotta do to keep me. I am not whack. I ain't a boy.
Dr. McGee.
I like to do all of that. So if I say I want to go out and dance and get dressed up and put on my heels, we need to do that.
Watch it now.
You might want to lay on the couch. I'll give you a couch day, but tonight we can dress up.
I told you something. I'm telling you, when Dr. McGee's here, it's on. But I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna throw a curveball in there.
Okay, DJ, go ahead.
Tiffany, I'm gonna throw a curveball in there for you, Tiffany. Now we know in the late 90s, 2000s, even 80s, there was a lot of download going on, download actions, right?
Okay.
It still goes on today. We know that, but it's not as widely talked about. But it does go on. Now, here is my question: the poor wife is home. The man goes out and gets a disease. Take it back home and give it to her. And now she's saying, "I'm dying of this disease." And she's saying, "Now, I prefer he had emotionally cheated on me opposed to physically cheated on me." How would you address that?
I think she say that because she's looking at the fact that he's dying.
He's dying.
But I think that would be the only reason why a woman would say that. Because the fact that he's dying.
No, she's dying. He gave it to her.
Dying? Oh, she's dying from the disease?
Yes.
Well, that would be the only reason she would say that. Because there's no coming back from it now.
Wow.
If he had emotionally cheated, she could have left him. You know, they could have worked it out. Something could have been done. But now the fact that she's dying, there's no way to correct that at all.
So when you say it's better that if it's done, because we're saying emotional cheating is worse. Everyone is saying that, and maybe it is worse. But think about that damage to her life. I mean, she's probably a young, vibrant woman, maybe has a career, and just ready to live her life. Now she's thought because of this man's indiscretion, take home this disease and gave it to her. So that's why the emotional thing and the physical thing, we kind of have to watch it. It's kind of weird to me. What do you say?
I don't think emotional cheating is just. I think cheating is cheating.
So you don't think it's worse or better?
Physically or emotionally, it's cheating.
Okay.
Because if my husband cheated on me physically, or I find out that he's cheating on me emotionally, it's still cheating. Because if you're going to cheat on somebody emotionally, really, to me, in your mind, you've, as I think that Miss Wanda said, you've kind of checked out of the relationship. Your mind is not there.
Yes.
And if you have to find comfort or find solace by talking to somebody else, then what is my purpose here?
Tons
of okay. Hold on. Okay, I'm gonna ask the question to Dr. Wanda now. Okay, now I'm gonna play the devil's advocate tonight. Okay, I'll be the bad boy tonight. Now,
I hear you.
You're always a bad boy, Keith.
You know that's why I'm gonna drink. That's why I got my orange juice. I'm gonna make sure I stay wise. You know what I'm saying? Not the McGee don't laugh. I'm telling you, I'm gonna do this. Watch me. So hear this, Dr. Wanda. We know that as people, we're very complex. We have many dimensions to us. Many that we're so complex. Sometimes we don't even know ourselves, right?
Right.
If you think about a friendship or a relationship, maybe on the job, or wherever. But then this person may speak to you intellectually. There's nothing physical going on, but it's an intellectual, stimulating conversation that your wife or husband doesn't bring to you. You got to sacrifice that mental thing that you love so much to talk about Star Treks and the next generation. Because wifey don't like that, So now here you are engaging 2-3 hours on Star Trekky stuff. And it works for you, it works for him. Is that cheating because you're having fun? Or do you kind of just... What's that about?
First of all, sex is a strong drive. I don't care what anyone says. Boy and girl meet, trust and believe. First and foremost, he's not interested in your mind when he's engaging with you that long period of time. Anyways, after the first 10 minutes, it's already a done deal on that point. It can go either way at that point. And now these conversations you're constantly engaging day after day, the 10-minute going to 20 minutes. And like Dr. Roberts said, at lunch and now you lunch. And then Dr. McGee said, now the husband, this is my husband. What is it? Office husband. And I've heard that. I've heard that. When you know your identity and know who you are, no matter how raggedy you are and how raggedy your husband is, you will never, ever give no other man that power. Wow. And I said a raggedy guy. I said a raggedy guy in my days, and I didn't give no one that power. And I was getting hit on the bus. And he was raggedy, and the dude was pulling out money. And as much and as intriguing as he thought it was to me, I said, I'm engaged. He said, so what? We can still be friends. And I said, let me say this to you. If you had a woman or get engaged and a guy sat by her and said the same thing, see, I had to put him in those shoes. He got up and walked away.
You got the point. Wow.
All right. I have a question.
He was raggedy, my guy, and I wouldn't give no one that kind of power. So if I'm into you and I'm married or engaged, I'm not giving no man to piss on my tree. You're not getting that. You're not getting that power. And that's what's happening.
I hear
all
that.
Right, powerful stuff. Thank you.
That's when the juice comes out.
And I just with Dr. Wanda, I agree. You don't want to give nobody that kind of attention that you would give your spouse. Like that
Absolutely.
That's special. But let me say this. Everybody like a little flirt, okay? I like a little flirt.
Can we keep it real? Can we keep it real tonight? Folks, can we keep it real tonight? Ladies and gentlemen, thank you.
Real. You like a little already know. You like a little flirt, girl. You looking good. You ladies, we know how to smile and get that drink and bat them out.
That's true.
Okay, I got a whole catalytic converter fixed on my truck for free, and all I did was bat my ass.
That's right.
One thing I always say, Dr. McGee, is there's a line between flirting and taking it too far. You don't put yourself in a situation where you have to say no.
Absolutely.
You have to know that
to get there. You can say no sometimes,
and you gotta put that up there. So I think that it's very important for if you are cheating is cheating. For me though, I think emotionally would be worse if like my ex-husband when we were married, like if he would have cheated on me emotionally, he never cheated, period. But if he had cheated on me emotionally, because I feel like that I can't really compete with. Because a man can have sex with somebody and put a paper bag over their head and go on lay with their wife. Men just roll with it. Okay, it ain't got nothing to do with how she look. You ever see somebody and you be like, "Man, how you deal with her?"
Yeah. It would piss you off even more. Like, really?
You know why? You know why? Because he ain't looking at this. He
Oh
probably
my
looking at the
God.
booty. He probably looking at the boobs.
He's
Men
trying to scratch an itch.
just
That's
love the
it.
way she walks in a dress and be like, man, I would do etc. to her. He ain't got to know nothing about
Right.
it. Men can roll like that. Women, we can't. That ain't how we might see a brother and be like, man, he handsome or he got a nice six pack
That's
or
true.
who he drive a nice car. But we got to get to know him because the minute he open his mouth and it ain't right, he be like, nah, girl, I'm good.
Yeah.
You know
But
what?
That's
you
very
know,
true.
and I am an Aquarius. So for me,
Oh,
stimulating conversation for me is very important.
gee.
Like
Yes.
you could be,
Yes.
beauty and brains for me work. Now, if
Uh,
you dumb and handsome, I can't really roll with that because I don't.
yeah,
We ain't gonna have much to talk about. So I
yeah.
think for me, because emotional, you cannot compete with that.
Mhm.
It ain't no me. It ain't that much tricks you can turn, that much fellatio you can give, that much cuddling you can do.
Yeah, that's true. That's
Because that
true.
person has completely removed themselves from the equation. They are now
Yes.
emotionally attached. And guess what? Emotional means a
Mm-hmm.
spiritual attachment is there. And that's
Mm,
hard
Yes.
to break.
yeah.
In those spiritual ties, and then when you lay with that person, because eventually that emotional piece gonna turn into physical, you gonna lay with that person. Now
Mm-hmm.
y'all got this one soul tie that's so strong and it's constantly competing, okay, with all the other stuff that you got going on with your primary partner.
Yeah.
So for me,
Okay.
emotional is way worse. Now I ain't
Yes.
saying you go. I'm not telling giving you no pass to go out there and hoe around. I'm not giving you that pass, okay?
Hmm.
But if you want a blonde, we can talk about this.
Hmm.
You want a redhead, we can do some things.
That's
We
right.
can switch it
You
up,
want a
right?
short skirt, I can make that happen.
There you
But
go.
emotionally, and you know why I'm saying this, I remember when I was getting married and my father told me I was 24, 23. And my dad told me right off the bat, and I was so uncomfortable with this conversation, but Lord knows, I was like, oh, he said, yeah, I want you to stay married for a long time. And I'm uncomfortable with this conversation too. He said, don't nobody want to have sex with the same person all the time. You need
Uh-oh.
to change it up. You need to get you some wigs. You need to get you some line. He told me, my daddy told me, okay?
Hmm.
He can, and let me tell you something. I did that too. He was like, you don't worry about going to no games on the weekend to see the football team. Get a big old screen TV. You walk around and you play hostess. You play waitress. You let
Nice.
them tackle you during
Nice.
that light
Nice.
during the
Nice.
Uh-huh.
hallway.
Nice. Nice.
So
Yeah.
my dad told me that, and
Absolutely.
because he's a man. Okay, he's a man, and he's a man's man too. So my dad told me he kept it all the way 100. And when he had those conversations, he told me some other things too. But he said that, and so I am a firm believer. Physicality things we can change or we can do, but that emotional piece, that's something you can't compete with that. I don't care what
Yeah.
Yes.
anybody says.
No.
That's
That person
You
wonderful,
know.
has
ladies. You know,
already
I have
gone.
a question. I have a question. I'm sorry, ladies. And just to let those in the
The chat.
virtual space who are listening
Hmm.
to us, you are free to send in your questions and your comments. Throughout the program, I will be asking our guests these questions so that we can get their feedback and what they have to say. I have a couple coming in already, so I want to just jump right into them. The first question I want to ask, and this question goes to all the ladies at the table tonight. Can a man or woman develop emotional attachment from kindness? And when a male or female says a platonic "I love you," is there such a thing as a platonic "I love you" from a man or a woman to the other?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and again, you got to be careful because it's always that little catch-22 in there too. Because again, we've all spoke about how emotional we are as women, and Dr. McGee, you said ego, and what did you? What was it?
Emo.
Emo. And it's about sometimes that scoring with that man, and it ain't about that. It ain't about scoring, especially with women. It's about that connection. So when we say we love you, we are saying we love you dearly, as a brother, as a friend, and even with that woman, if no one's in your life, then eventually that brother, friend, that filial and affiliate and that soiree love, it can turn into that erotic love eventually. So, and it depending on, again, that connection and that bind that you have, it's, it's strong between men and women. It ain't no, no muffin pot here. There's no real antidote here. We're all learning. I don't care how much education we have, how much striving we have, how much, little different formats we go on. This is life. This is real life. And if the church talks about sex more, we won't be so rigid. And the women won't be up in there like this. And they pad on. And
I believe that.
we need to talk about sex more.
I believe
and
that.
when you talk about sex, that's why they're going to be over there in the corner looking at everything and everybody else, because you over there being mother too much. And the church mother and the pastor wife sitting over there in the corner, and come on. So we gotta stop this. So when you say, Dr. McGee, put on that blonde wig, you darn right. I don't have anyone, but I fantasize about what I will do. And what I will do, I will have my heels on. I wear heels all the time. I'm not gonna work and say this time is. I said I don't wear sneakers when I work out.
Dr. Wanda, here, if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. You got to keep your wig on deck and your lingerie on straight up hangers. Because mine is
I fantasize on, yes. I got all the little outfits. Look, let's not get this game crooked. My fantasy is driving up into the church, getting ready to do a speech on my 3-wheel motorcycle with a Jesus on my helmet.
Oh my God.
And I'm walking there with my helmet in my arm saying, here I
go. No, guys, no, that's Jersey, okay?
I'm not rigid, and I am and we all are lovers of God. But people had got this game crooked. God is not marking off stuff. That is what we have done, and those are the itineraries and agenda that the church and the pastors has done. And when it comes,
powerful Wanda, thank you.
Absolutely.
Yes, Lady Tiffany, what are your thoughts?
Well, I completely I agree with Dr. Wanda, because the Bible said whatever is done in the sanctity of your bedroom is blessed. So whatever you do to please your husband,
amen,
to do what you have to do to please your husband.
Amen.
There's something.
All right, and I see.
If he's going out and talking to other people, then there's something missing.
And I see the comments coming in. I'm reading this question that I just got a while ago. It says, I have been married for 7 years, and honestly, I am lonely in my relationship. I think right now I am emotionally cheating. I didn't know it was that, but I think I am right now. I have this friend that let me see if I'm getting it right. I have this friend that I talk to, and it is a joy to hear from him on a daily basis. We have not had sex because we live in 2 different countries.
And praise God for that.
However, hold on, let me just finish this statement. However, we have a strong connection, and he talks to me the way I like to hear. even when I try to talk to my husband this way, it does it it just does not work.
Now,
What do I do?
now, ladies, before you even say anything, let me chime in here because I'm gonna let the guys speak. It's a very important thing. This lady here opened up her heart and became very transparent. You said, I heard her said, and the reading that she didn't know or didn't think she was emotionally cheating up until
Yes,
now.
she said I did not know it was.
So,
Yes.
so one of you ladies, just speak to her. Let's speak to her and see how we can connect with her.
I would say because 7 years is still very early on in the marriage. And if you already feeling this way, the first thing you want to do is seek some type of counseling, and you need to inform your partner of what is going on. Because 9 times out of 10, he probably feels that she is checked out from him emotionally. When you are married to someone, you are one. You are one spirit. You are one connection. And so you can tell when that's why people say your other half, you can tell when that other half is not right. You can tell when they have checked out. You can tell when they've emotionally withdrawn. And that other person that she's talking to, she might want to tell him he has to stop contacting her. Because the more conversing that you guys are having, you're falling deeper and deeper and deeper into it. But I would say to really, 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 seek some counseling, pray about it, ask the Lord to help you in the area that you guys are weak, and really try to have a new refreshing for you and your husband. Men are not mind readers, so you have to tell them, and neither are women. So you have to.
But I'm seeing in the comment, Dr. McGee, that he says even though I talk to him, it just does not work.
Well, are you holding on to something that God is trying to release you from? That's the other question. Because just because you with somebody for a long time, that does not mean that is your soulmate. That does not mean that that's your husband. That does not mean that God or that does not mean that you're equally yoked with them. God respects the marriage, but did He do the choosing or did you? That's you have to think about that because these issues
And it was
in there.
And it's many dynamics of why did you get married? Were you in love? That word in love is like a 2-year lifespan. That's that start off obsession. I'm in love. You drop out of school. You stop doing this. You stop working at the church. Because you're in love. And then that 2 years in, I'm not in love with him no more. Because that was that moment. It was just that plateau. Now, if you can get past that 2-year span, you got a chance of having a long, healthy life. If you can get past that 2-year span, you have a chance. And again, like you said, Dr. McGee, it's all the counseling. If you are having these issues and this person is rocking your boat emotionally and your husband right there, and you're trying to talk to your husband and he's not responding, you guys don't have no love language. See, you don't know each other's talk. You don't know how to express yourself. You don't communicate. And it had to been going on like that for some time.
Yeah.
To get to this point. This has been like that for a long time. Come in, go to work. This is it. How's your day? That's it. And it was no intimacy. Intimacy is not always about sex. There's no romance. Hold hands, go. Have a date night. I used to love my Tuesday nights when I was engaged thinking I'm getting married because that was our day. So if nothing else, I planned those 5 stages of getting myself mentally ready for that day. And like you said, Dr. McGee, had the lingerie on the hanger.
But Dr. Wanda, it goes back to what Dr. McGee said earlier. What you did to get me, you have to do to keep me.
Yeah.
A lot of times we get we get in a relationship and we get married and we forgot what we did in the beginning.
Absolutely.
To create that affection, to create that love, to create that romance. We just get complacent in the relationship. And that's something you gotta ask yourself. Because I've fallen into that trap where my husband and I were having a little spat and I started talking to a friend and I had to cut that friendship off. I had to because I made a choice that this is my husband. This is who I want to be with.
Absolutely.
Because the more you talk to that person, and this is some personal experience, the more you talk to that person is the more you want to talk to that person, and the more you're going to start despising your husband. So
and
you have to let that person go.
And if this person is her friend, then he would tell her, listen, I'm going to remove myself from this position, from this situation, because I really want you to work it out with your husband. Because, men be having ulterior motives, baby. I'm going to tell you.
Let's be real.
He's not going to say that either.
Continue in that conversation. He's a guy, and if he keeps continuing talking to her,
he don't care about. He's pissing on that other man's tree.
Exactly.
He's not going to do that.
That's why it's hard for women and men to be platonic friends.
Yes.
When I was in the midst of my divorce, people was coming up out the woodwork. I always liked you. I knew he ain't know what he had. You've been planning for 13 years? Oh my God.
Waiting like wolves in the bush.
Okay, yeah. Oh, wait, ladies, quickly. Let me give a shout out. Quick shout out to Tashina Sexton and Deshaun Brown. Let's give a shout out here. And guys, remember to get the app. Go to your Play Store, go to your Google Store, go to whatever store you got, and get the UMERADIO app. It's one word, the letter UMERADIO, and that will give you access to all that we're doing, guys. It's just phenomenal. You guys are I'm telling you, I'm gonna get another drink real quick because I'm getting excited here.
Yes, let me also shout out Shaniki Marshall and Shane Haslam. All the other viewers on YouTube, I want to say shout out. Thank you, YouTube family, for joining us this evening, for keeping our company. I know it's teeming over there. I know. Thank you for keeping our company. I have some more questions coming in, ladies. I have another question that says here.
Lady Misty, before you say, I want to say.
Oh, yes, Lady Tiffany.
Don't give up.
Go ahead.
Don't give up on your husband, because my husband and I have gotten to the point where I've actually packed up to move, and we've been together 9 years now. And my kids, they get sick of us because they said we act like we're teenagers in love.
Amen.
But don't give up.
That's right.
Amen. And let me just throw a little something in there as well. Like Dr. McGee said, counsel, and that's my thing, relationship counseling. Counseling. It's never too late. You'd be surprised someone who can be objective can help you with what you all are missing, because that person doesn't know either one of you. So it's so important to speak to someone. Don't just think it's dead in the water. It's never dead. You'd be surprised how they can ignite that relationship back to where Dr. Roberts is saying she's a teenager again. Her kids are sick.
And don't stop communicating.
Absolutely. And drop that man that you're talking to. Find a prayer partner, someone you can trust who loves you, not going to talk about you. Find someone who you can pray with. Prayer is very powerful, and the Bible says when two or more come together, God is in the mix and he hears you. So don't give up, because we're going to go. None of us are perfect, and there was no manual given. We all just learn and looking through the world through our own lenses, and we all make mistakes, and we're going to continue making mistakes. The key is to pick ourselves up and do it again. Repent is turning away from it. Run like Joseph did. Run away from it and start over again. And you got to run again and repent. Do it. Eventually it'll catch. I was a mess, and I thank God where I am today, because of prayer and turning away and not looking back where I thought I would. And I'm like, oh, wow, this ain't nothing. You can't do it. And that's another thing. You can't do it. As you force yourself, only the power of God can do it. The Spirit.
Awesome.
All right, that's so powerful.
As a man, before the next question comes in, I'm gonna speak as a man, only man, and a lot has been said, but we are wired differently. We really are.
Yes, you are.
I've read about men and women being platonic friends or that kind of thing, but I think there are two men I want to talk about tonight. Let's distinctively talk about. There's a man who is a dog, who's waiting for the moment to dive in, and there's another gentleman who pretty much is very respectful, and if as long as the woman doesn't give him that open door, he's fine. You know, so a lot of times men, we pretty much think the same thing. We feel the same way. You know, the same drive, the same curiosity, the same ego thing. But I think the one who has that respect, that, you know what, I respect this woman as a woman and her desire and her wishes. Let me not cross that line. You see? And so they remain friends in that sense of the word. But I would say this though, that I was married, not married anymore, and I realized that there's so many things that can come in between your relationship that you can miss, and if you don't pay attention to it, the small little things, the compliment, when she put a nice dress on, yeah, remind her that she looks good.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and sometimes when you're talking to her, keep your eyes focused on her, not around the room and whatever it was passing by. Little things. A woman can is they're very fine tuned. They're very detailed.
Yes.
And so I think a lot of men, they miss these principles. And so when she checks out emotionally, he doesn't have a clue until actually when she really feels that she said, "Get out of bed. I don't want to sleep with you tonight." She's like, "What happened? What did I do?" So I mean, I like the fact that although we distinguish the physical sex from the emotional sex, you know, it is all wrong. But there's something about deception when you have someone who's just not being truthful. They're not being honest, knowing that they're not being honest, knowing that they're being deceptive. That's dangerous.
Absolutely.
And I mean, and I would say, man, for those people who have experienced that kind of emotional deceit and deception, good God Almighty, it has to be painful. It has to be horrible.
Yes.
And I would say this: I'm glad for a platform as such, because here we have doctors on the platform. We have, in fact, I believe your counselor, Dr. Wanda, counselor. You can reach out to her and in the program to get a number. She may be able to refer you to somebody else too that she may know in the network. But it's about empowering people. Our station here is empower 1 million lives. And when I hear the question come in, I say, yes, someone is listening. Someone's being touched, being moved, being changed, transformed. That's the idea. So again, ladies, thank you so much. You guys are just making me happy here. Thank you.
Amen. Amen.
Yes. I have a comment from a male before I ask the question. I think this is from a male, and it's quite interesting, DJ KTE, that you spoke, because this male says, I have been emotionally cheated on, and honestly, it has been one of the worst pains of my life. However, I tend to let me read this correctly. However, I tend to have accepted it. Why? I missed I missed my girlfriend and the little things that she was showing me. I don't think I was I think this word is listening. I don't think I was listening or paying attention to her. So it opened the door for someone else to take her away.
Wow.
Yeah, but I
That
don't
was
think he should blame
that
himself.
was
I don't
that,
think
that
he
was a
should blame
comment.
himself. People make a choice to do that. You know,
Absolutely.
you can take your
Yeah.
ownership. You should own your part, but never blame yourself for someone else's actions. Don't do
Right.
that, victim.
True.
That's not okay. And a parent, and I'm gonna say, when men are hurt like that, it's hard for them to look at women different. I had a friend, one of my male friends, and we are just
That's
been
why I
friends
said
since
we
high school.
wire differently.
And we've been friends since high school, and he made it very clear he was with his kid's mother. The woman cheated on him. He got back with her. He says, "You know what? I never look at her the same." He was like, "I never look at her the same." And he
Nope.
said,
Yeah.
That
And
trust
that's
is gone.
expected. And
That
that's
trust is
expected.
gone.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's
it's
expected.
expected,
And when
and
the
men see that
man,
as a sign, and they can be forgiven and all of
then
that.
you
But
just
for men,
exactly.
Yeah,
it's a
that's
hard
true.
Yep.
thing.
That's very true.
And
I agree
he
with
made
you.
it.
I agree with you, Dr. McGee.
That
I don't
woman.
think that he should blame himself. I think that he should take ownership for his part. But
Mm-hmm.
sir, don't blame yourself. And I can that emotional hurt is almost hard to put in words. And I just want you to be encouraged. And some people come in your life to teach you some lessons and some seasons and some reasons. You got to pull out
I
whatever that lesson
agree.
was from young lady and move on, brother, because it
Yes.
is some good women out here,
Yes, it
and
is.
it's some
Yes, it
good
Yes,
is.
that's
men
right.
out here And I think that women, we always said ain't no good men out here. No, it's bad women out. It's women out here who encourage bad behavior, and they enable that man. And so you got to be very clear about your expectations as a young man and what you're looking for in a woman. And you pray about your partner. You pray that the
and that is the key.
Yeah,
and that is the key. It is prayer. We keep seeing in our stomach, we get the butterflies in our stomach and googly eyes, but that doesn't mean that can be the devil incarnate waiting to pull you down. Pray on it. I assure you, if it's for you and if that's who God sent you, you will know that woman will love you. She will adore you. She's going to admire you. She is going to inspire you. She is going to lift you up. So pray on it, right? And you'll know, again, we all still trying to find our identity. So if you know your identity, you already know what you looking for, what you want. I've been there. So that's why I don't mind. Me and my little Tugger, my little doggy, I'm good. God takes great care of me because I've been down the road. I had the teary eyes and the scraped knees, and I'm okay. And I forgave all of them. And I even talk to them all periodically, but it's okay. And we're just that, friends. And I'm waiting for my Boaz.
All in due time.
I'm waiting for my Boaz. Exactly.
Someone says, kill all the freaking butterflies. Oh, my goodness. Wow. I like butterflies. Okay.
I've heard you, Tiffany, talking about your children saying that they're sick of you because your husband behave like teenagers, and I've heard Lady Wanda and Lady McGee talk about those different kind of wigs and fantasies and so on. And a question came in: is it okay for Christians to have fantasies?
Yes, what is
everybody all rigid.
Oh my goodness.
That's a good question. Is it with your husband?
Listen, I'm just asking the questions as I get them, okay?
As long as it's with your spouse, it is perfectly okay.
Whoever.
Now you can fantasize about who you want who you're looking for. You say, write the plan down. You can think, this is what I want. I want him 6 feet tall. I want him mustache. I want him without a beard. You know, I want him his physicality. I want to
I hear you.
Put my arms around him. Yes. Yes. Build that man up. Build him. Build him in your mind. Build him on your paper. Build him.
Ladies. I must confess. I have a little belly. I promise I'll lose it. Can I drink my juice? I'm drinking my juice.
What's wrong with a fantasy? God gave you imagination. You can imagine and use your fantasy. And let me tell you something.
Yes.
A lot of times, I know when I was married, and I was a young married woman, a young bride, and my ex-husband was 11 years older than me. So he liked lingerie. Personally, I thought lingerie was stupid because I was like, well, I'm just gonna take it off. But guess what? My mother and my auntie told me, they was like, you need to grow up. You need to grow up and you need to wear that lingerie. Child, and his face will light up. Now, I didn't like it at all. I gotta put this on. But I mean, he couldn't tell I didn't like it because I'm a good actress. Okay, I was in there trying to aim to please. Okay, so I don't think it's anything wrong with fantasy, and I think that people appropriate fantasy. I don't, you know what I'm saying? Appropriate fantasy for you and your husband or your mate or whoever you're dating. It is okay. You have imagination. That's because you're a Christian. Don't mean you got to live in this box. God does not live in a box. And I need people to take that. I'm not saying you around here throwing your goodies, okay, to everybody and men too, because I believe in soul ties, you know, and you have to be careful with that. But if you want to put on a uniform outfit and heels or nothing,
go ahead.
Just the wig and the heels.
Hey, let me tell you something.
Yes.
I'm doing a boudoir shoot for my birthday. It is for me. So when that man do come in, baby, I got you covered. Here you go.
Nice. That's all right.
You have imagination.
Nice.
You should talk through things that you and your lover like or want to explore together. You never know.
Look,
You
look,
been
look.
doing something the same way for so long. The man done got bored. You done got bored. Now y'all just bored together.
Ladies.
Look, hey, listen, let me just say this real quick. 2 Corinthians 10:5 says, I'm going to read it from the King James Version, casting down arguments and every high thing that exalts itself against the knowledge of God. Bring every thought into captivity to the obedience of Christ. Now that varies in many ways, whether it's good or whether it's bad. You want to bring all of those thoughts, like the young lady was talking about, the fantasies, fantasizing about who? Your husband or about your soon-to-be husband in a good way. There's bad arguments and there's good arguments. There's fantasies in the
inappropriate fantasies, the wrong person, the wrong thing,
at the wrong time,
the wrong time, the wrong place.
Absolutely.
I have a question coming in here that I want to ask, as we're talking about fantasies and emotional cheating and so on. And it says, when I'm watching a movie and I'm salivating over a character I'm attracted to, or he looks nice, is that emotional cheating?
Girl, who was his celebrity crush, and he would tell me Toni Braxton, and I say, oh, she is pretty, and I had a couple of them, but I would be like, but Barack Obama, I'm like, that's my man, I love him. For me, I like power, I like
yes.
I'm power hungry, but something about a power on a man, But my ex-husband knew it was all about him. He would go to the gym, and he was a smaller guy, and I would be like, baby, you getting buff. You getting real. And my mom used to say, now you ain't no good. Why would you tell? I said, because he looking good. And I used to let him know, baby, you looking good. You keep working out. You keep looking
nice.
good.
Nice. That's right. That's right.
He would tell me if it was like, if I would get different hairstyles, because I used to change up my hair a lot. And one day I came home and I was a little unsure. He could tell I think I was a little unsure, but before I could even say anything, he said, I love your hair.
Nice.
And he knew he had to.
That's what it's about: building each other up, affirming each other.
That's right.
If it look right, I would tell him, babe, I don't really like that color on you. Let's try this. You could be honest, and I don't think criticizing about a character or salivating over a character in a movie, because do you really know if you're gonna meet that person? Like, man, that look good. You should put that on, or I like the way that cologne smells. Ooh, you should wear. I'm gonna buy you something.
Absolutely. You gotta keep building each other up, and that's why we're going somewhere else and giving everybody else our love language, because you're not taking out that chance and having those date nights and those intimate moments with your soon-to-be husband or your husband. You're not sharing that. Walking in the park, you don't have to always throw a lasso around the moon. Just go to a movie. Go out to the corner store. I don't know the dynamics of your neighborhood, but just spend time together.
Just go for a walk. It ain't gotta be nothing extravagant.
Absolutely. Go for a walk, hold hands in the park, go to the corner store, the chicken shack, as long as you are together.
You know what the best time for me spent with my husband is when he's in the kitchen cooking, and I just go sit there and talk.
Nice.
Wow.
Nice.
Sit there and talk, and he just cooks.
Nice.
So I heard.
You be like, don't flip that burger, baby. You gotta talk to him like that.
Start tossing that burger up in the air.
So I heard, I heard that. Ladies, he comes on this show. I'll tell you, Dr. McGee is a mess. I'll tell you.
Squeeze out. Do it slow though. Don't go fast.
Oh my God.
It's a different ways to make things fun and
yes.
I think
you can't be all rigid all the time.
To build a friendship, you're gonna always be cool with your friend. That's why you literally be like, that's my best friend. Like, I can't be my best friend.
Oh wow. But ladies, I heard something early in the show. And in a couple words I hear conversation. I hear words like honesty, transparency. And I think that it's important, very important, to have the conversations. A lot of people, I know people who have gotten married, myself, they said, I didn't know that she didn't like this, or I didn't know that he was like that. And these are like basic questions that you think they would actually ask or even try to find out. So I think as you talk about the mind where it's at, a lot of men who are married, they got married with porn in their background that they didn't get rid of that stuff. So they're walking there with that fantasy thing going on. Would never talk about, would never addressed. And I remember I went to a counselor one time many years ago, and she said, we make our own porn. I said, we have to watch somebody else, do our own stuff, make our own.
Right.
and I'm like, that makes so much sense. But
make sure you take the tape.
Yes. Yeah, but these are real talk, and the church really have not risen to the occasion. I think a few churches here and there who are branched off and become independent bodies are more open and more transparent in teaching people how to not get left behind, so to speak. And yes, the issue here, we talk about physical cheating, emotional cheating, and it's really something that we can get a hold of, I think, more. And I think there are ways that we can now start seeing, listening, you know what, we got to catch those things very early. Let's be honest with ourselves, because people do what they want. People kind of do what they want to do, but honesty is so important. It makes a difference how you approach and how you even see counseling, because denial and denying stuff is just not the way to go. So you guys are really sharing some really good stuff tonight.
Who the Son set free is free indeed. You have to live as though it's your last day, but with love and within moderation.
Yeah.
Live, let go, forgive. And when you start forgiving, because the Bible says, first ask for forgiveness and then come to God. We come and saying, Lord, forgive me, but did you even consider even asking forgiveness from that person? Or even if you don't physically go to that person, in your heart and mind, and say, Lord, I really forgave that person, but I really forgive that person, but ask, what are you asking them forgiveness for? Because if you're just saying, Lord, forgive me, or Lord, can you forgive them? But what are you asking for? It's like with your husband when he say, or your woman say, I'm sorry. What are you sorry for?
Yeah.
Let's identify that action there. Don't just, I'm sorry. Sorry for what? Because when you confess it,
name it.
You're accountable now.
Yeah.
You have to confess your sins, and you have to confess.
I think that's what they shy for. If you say, well, I'm sorry for hurting you for X, Y, and Z, then you become accountable.
Absolutely.
Accountability is a big thing that nowadays people don't really want to be held accountable for anything.
Not at all. Not only that, people really struggle. What I'm learning is to apologize. They don't know how to apologize. It kills them. They rather skip all over and say everything else, but never ask for apology, never apologize or requested an apology or anything. They just go with the flow and just skip over it and never said they sorry.
Right.
And never talk about it. That's the problem. They don't talk about it.
As I hear.
At one point, is it okay or to stay in a relationship when there's been, like chronic cheating? I think everybody has their breaking points. People stay in relationships for all different reasons. But this is what I will say to that person or to anyone in this situation. You can love your partner however much you want to love them. But I'm going to tell you one thing. You got to love yourself more. And I'm going to tell you why you got to love yourself more. Because you came in this world and you're going to leave out this world.
Yes.
The longest relationship you're going to ever be in is the one with yourself. And
right.
You have to figure what it is for you. I don't think that anybody should be in any type of situation where you are being emotionally or physically abused under no circumstances. So if someone is chronically cheating, and then that other person start chronically cheating, then y'all might as well divorce, which is a horrible thing to go through. But y'all might as well give each other the latitude to really explore other options. And I'm just gonna say this for the people who are married, ain't nothing out here, baby. It ain't nothing
Not
out
at
here.
all.
You need to try to work that
I'm
out.
looking to get married, but I'm gonna wait.
I told my husband, listen, if he dies or if we get divorced, that's it for me. I'm done.
I know that's right.
Now I will say this: there is life after divorce. Though. I will say that.
Oh
You
yeah,
know,
there's life for me and my
but,
kids, definitely.
but I'm just saying, if you got to get out of a situation and there's chronic cheating, there is no respect left. That and once somebody don't respect you, they resent you. It is done. Cause you can once you got respect, baby, you can't earn that back. Either you got it or you don't. Loyalty, either you have it or you don't.
You don't.
I don't play with unloyal people because they're untrustworthy and they're unstable and they don't take no accountability. Next thing you know, they'll have you down yourself thinking something wrong with you, and that's the person that done jacked the whole thing up. Unloyal people, you have to stay away from them. And it's so sad because they have been chronically being unloyal, so they think that they're right. They think that it's okay, and nobody holds them accountable.
No one has corrected them or came along.
You have to come out of that. And I will say again, if somebody's been chronically cheating on, let me just say, every marriage and relationship that's not infidelity. Because I know sometimes people wrap it in like, oh, everybody cheats. No, everybody doesn't.
Absolutely.
No, everybody is not doing that. No,
Absolutely.
everybody ain't stepping out on somebody. No, no, no. Now understand this. Your husband is a man. He gonna look. Your wife is a woman. She gonna look. The man is married. He ain't blind. Okay? And you gotta make
And it's again, it's the appropriateness of how you're going to look as well. You don't just make it all. You know, you walking down the street with your husband or your wife, and your eyes is bulging out your head, and you're so obvious. Now that's just a disrespectful level right there. Now it's okay, and the woman can say she's cute, isn't she, hun? And it's okay to have a relationship like that.
I do that. I do that with my husband.
There you go. See that?
That's right. That's good, Tiffany.
And that's good because you're opening up and you're being comfortable. So your husband don't have to. He gives you that respect. He gives you that, and especially when you give him the permission and say she's cute, is it? You give him the opportunity to say, you know what, she is, but not pretty as you, baby. So there you go. You know what I mean? Hey, amen. Yes. Now, one thing I've learned that a man and woman will never complete each other. That is Christ's job. So, I think was it you, Dr. McGee, that said with the chronic, if you're a chronic cheater, it's time to go. After a while, it's so much, and again, that's physical. When you do into that physical and that mental abuse, if you haven't gotten help by now, you ain't gonna get the help. I mean, again, it's none of our place to say what to, because God can change any situation. Now, if you're willing to stay there after him beat you up so long, and then God can change anything. That's not any one place to say anything different. Now, will I be there? I won't even get myself in a situation like that. But I can't speak for everyone else that they may stay there because they may have low self-esteem. They may be lacking and missing a lot of stuff. And again, God can take, with their prayers, God hears all of them, can take it and change all that around for them. For me, I won't be in that situation.
I'm not going to stick around to find out.
Exactly. We're not even going to go there.
All right. Thank you, ladies, so much. We are almost out of time, so I want to hear from you all just briefly as we go around the table. What is the journey like away from emotional or physical cheating? How do couples, how do we navigate from that onto better relationships?
Just take about 2 minutes, right? 2 minutes just to kind of bring on that in. Yeah, 2 minutes each.
I think navigating from something that's emotional or physical is the first thing you have to do, is that you have to confess, and you really have to get it off of you, and you really have to ask your partner for forgiveness. But before that, you have to forgive yourself, and you have to come up with you all have to come up with some kind of concrete plan to get your relationship back on track. whether that is dating, or I'm sorry, dating is part of it, each other, but whether that is going to counseling, seeking that professional help, seeking some spiritual counseling, seeking some other type of counseling, really coming up with a plan to make an effort to make your relationship work. Now, if you cannot do that, then maybe it is time for you all to say, you know what, we've done all we can do, and I think we're at the end of our rope. And you make that conscious decision to do so. But at the end of the day, be confident in your decision and make sure you're not acting out of emotions, but you're acting out of logic, and you're operating in your higher self, and you have really did all the work, all the work.
Right.
All right. Thank you. All
Wanda?
right.
Dr. Wanda?
Lady Wanda?
Right. Again, I agree with Dr. McGee. Communication is the key. And when you communicate with your partner, you have to know your partner. You're learning you, so you want to know him as well, and vice versa. Communication is the key. And again, you got to find your weakness. What are your weaknesses in that relationship, and what are your strengths? Believe it or not, sometimes folks is together, but they may be attracted to the other one because they sick of not having no money. They sick of broken, and sick of tired of just being sick and tired. So you got to lay your cards on the table. What are your wealth? And I'm not talking about material things, but let's keep it real. Money do make a difference. Finances do make a difference. You never can make them rent. You never have extra to do anything with. So after a while, you start feeding those urges elsewhere. You start coming outside the box, doing other things because of the lack that you have at home. So communicate. Bond, start planning, writing the plan down, preparing, get a list, start allocating all of your bills so you know how now, because that can be a many problems in a relationship. It can be the money too. So they're now going outside of their norm because this here, they're lacking something. So communication is the key. Hun, where are we? Again, love language. What is his like? What is her like? And don't just get a gift, but think about her and not you, that she would like this gift. Affirm him, her. Do servitude towards her or him. Find their language. You have to find their language because everybody's language is so different, and that's so important. So prepare, plan, and protect your relationship. It's so important. Get rid of those men. Let me tell you, I'm sorry. Call them your friend. You can call them whatever. They're not your friend. Soon as your husband bat his eye, if you say, come on over, he's over. That's not your friend. Stop talking to these single men, or whether they're married to single and you're married, or you're with someone who you say you love and going to marry. Stop giving that free open window to these men.
All right. Thank you, Lady Tiffany.
I completely agree with both ladies that communication and everything is good. But I think the very, very first step, if you're in an emotional relationship with somebody else that's not your partner, the very first thing you have to do is just end that emotional fear. You have to cut that contact off completely. And you have to take responsibility for what you did. You got to figure out for yourself first, why did this happen? Because you can apologize to your husband all you want, but if you're still talking to that person, and if you don't know why it happened, that leaves room for it to happen again.
Absolutely.
So you got to figure out why it happened, and then you guys can work on rebuilding the trust that you had before, because it's going to be hard. It's going to be a hard road rebuilding that trust for that man or that woman to trust you again.
Yes.
Okay. And then you can communicate your feelings with each other, and then you figure out together, what did I not do? What do I need to do for next time to ensure that this doesn't happen? Talk to each other.
Nice.
A lot of people are married and they don't talk to each other. They talk at each other, but not to each other.
Absolutely.
That's true.
The problem in marriages today, they're not talking to each other. My husband told me the time I overshare. but I don't like keeping anything inside.
Right.
Yes.
You don't expect you to know. You can't look at my face and say, "Oh, well, you're having a bad day. I know what's wrong." No, I got to tell you what's wrong with me, and then we address it. And then, like Coach McGee said, get professional help
Great
because
point.
it's gonna be a long road coming back.
Yes.
Great
It's gonna be
point.
a long road to come back.
Great. Thank you, ladies. And I'll say this before we wrap up real quick, is that many you might be listening here on this moment here, and you might have heard a whole lot of things. But one thing I'll say, if you're cheating physically or emotionally, more than likely it's only a matter of time before it crumbles. You're building something on a sinking sand. You may feel good, you may feel exciting, you may get the rush, but I can assure you, only a matter of time is going to crumble, and what you could have had is gone. So that's one thing. So, Lady Misty, do we have a tip for the day? Do we have a tip for the hour?
Yes. Yes. So we have a tip just to close out our segment this evening. It was very good. Thank you so much to all
Yes,
our
very
guests
spirited.
tonight. You guys were
Wow,
awesome.
they were
You guys were
fantastic.
awesome. Very
Wow.
lively discussion. Yes.
We
Yes.
love, we
And
love it.
I have a little tip. It may be a little funny, but this is a relationship. This is a relationship tip. If you're going to fight, just do it naked.
Uh-oh. You know what? You know what? That's where the drinks comes out again. You know what? This, my good God. You know what?
Funny.
So, Dr. Wonder, where can we find you? Where can we locate Dr. Wonder? Where can we find you?
You can just go to wandaroadtosuccess.com and anything you need to know is right there, or you can go to RebeccaBrandShare.com. All of my information is there as well.
Wow. Dr. McGee.
All of my contact information, emails, it's all on my websites.
Yes. Awesome. Dr. McGee.
You can find me at drramesia.org, where my philanthropy is the Second Chance Opportunity Scholarship Award, and all my contact info is there.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Love it. Ms. Roberts?
Oh, you can find me at trobertsenterprises.com.
Nice, nice. I thought I was going to say in my kitchen. I like, that's fine.
Guys, thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure meeting Lady Misty and Dr. McGee and Dr. Roberts and Keith, my buddy. It was such a pleasure. I hope to, do this again.
It was indeed a pleasure for us as well. Thank you
for inviting me. Guys, have a wonderful and blessed night.
Yes,
All
thank you,
right.
ladies.
Good night, guys.
God bless you
Thank
guys.
Let's talk relationship. DJ KTE is another good night, another
Yes.
great episode in the books.
It was fantastic.
We want to say thank you to all our sponsors, all those over there on YouTube, all 140 something of you. 141, 142 of you guys, you came out tonight. I guess this is
Yeah, they
something
were
that
rocking.
they really wanted to hear about. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
All right. So it was so good. Thank you for all those who are listening on all the other platforms. We're not leaving you out. We do appreciate your company. Thank you so much. Don't forget to get the app. All right, get the app. And we will be right here next week.
Remember, guys, it's
KTE.
one word, UME Radio.
Let's talk.
Relationships on UME Radio.
So what are we talking about?
Marriage, dating, parenting, business,
And love, emotions, sex.
it's a conversation with me, Lady Misty,
And DJ KTE.
on everything from hot topics to taboos.
Join us Mondays at 9 p.m. live on UME Radio.
Follow us at Let's Talk Relationship Show on Facebook or on Yumi Radio on Instagram. Let's talk relationships, arguments for the grown.
Get the UME Radio app to listen wherever you are. That is UME Radio. One word.